There, I just hit start recording, so we're recording from now. Okay, guys, it's Thursday, August 5th, and middle of summer, middle hot summer. A couple things I want to do today. Some quick talk on the housekeeping stuff, I call it, just some updates, and we can also do a bit of a urgent issues roundtable. We can, if you have anything going on you want to talk about, you can send a chat or send a question. We'll have a look at that. But so I'll talk a bit about housekeeping in a few minutes, and then Scott will be talking today about community, what's going on in the community, what you should be thinking about for the next month as we are in August. A lot of times it's slower months for us, so it's a chance for us to think about what we're doing in the community, think about what we're doing inside the clinic as well, and Scott will be talking more about that. So a few pieces. Just remembered here. I'll show my screen. There we go. Quick agenda. So a couple housekeeping updates. We're trying to line up tracks again. Next session looks like it's going to be second half of September. We're trying to coordinate that also with the franchise initial training and making sure that we're not overlapping, but seeing if we've got some potential to link that together. The franchise initial training, we've got a number of new franchises coming in. Last check, it was, I believe we're up to 3 new ones, and it looks like we could have a couple more signed certainly by the end of this month. So it's actually, when I just said that it might be a slow time in your clinic, it's actually been a busy time for signing up new franchises. So good news, we've got more people wanting to join the community of Physiomed. So that's the franchise initial training. Or a quick reminder, it's about a week training. Includes everything that you need to know, very high level, end-to-end Physiomed. And I also put that out to the group that's on the line here. If you do have a new clinic director in, that could be a good opportunity for you to send them for training. And if you're interested, drop me a line, and I'll get you the scope, so you can get a sense if it's all 4 or 5 days, or if it's a couple days it's more applicable you want to send them to. I'll also say it's a great chance for new franchises to bond as they come in. They're experiencing similar challenges as they evolve, whether they're opening a new clinic or transitioning their existing clinic over to the Physiomed brand, the Physiomed model. And like I said, it's a chance for them to bond, and I always put out that 3 years, 5, 10 years down the road, they'll look back and say, yeah, we were the 8th class of September 2010, and we've developed a bond. We bounce ideas off each other, and we've grown together. Anyway, so that's number 2. That's franchise initial training. Third piece that I wanted to update you guys on, we've been working hard to try, and we Tachyon, Abe, and I, to nail down an HCI module that we can plug into Coligo. We looked at different options. We looked at certainly developing this out ourselves. Of course, we've got experience with the last round of, or last, what you would say, attempt at automating the HCI and witnessing failures on their side. So we were caught in a bit of a catch-22. We could build it all out and then be left holding some useless development or wait. So we chose the latter, and we're working closely with Antivex now. We're scoping out. We're in agreement where we're going to go with this, and we're essentially going to get access to their transaction functionality. We plug that in, but there's still some development work on our side, because as layman's terms, high level, we have to make sure that develop the ability for Coligo to talk to that Antivex communication module, as I call it, which will communicate to the HCI system. If I had to put a time on it, I'm going to hopefully hear what's the word? Under promise, over deliver. We've had a shorter timeline, but I'm saying be prepared for mid-October for that to be fully live. I would say it's likely going to be earlier, but I don't want to promise anything, get your hopes up. But where we've met with the owner, the developers there, had a great meeting with the technical people this week, and we've scoped out how this is all going to lay out. But it is going to take some development time, and that's just a fact. But we're all pretty clear that this is going to work both from the business perspective and from the technology development perspective. So that's looking promising. Those are the quick housekeeping updates. Not sure if anybody had any other quick questions on that.
I'm here, Michael.
Oh, hey, Scott's here. Good. So if there are any other questions, you know what, Scott's here. We can take them up afterwards. I don't think Scott's going to fill up the whole hour. We're not going to hold you here if you need to. Yeah, that's good. So now I'll kick it over to Scott. Scott, do you have, by the way, you got control? I can give you control of the deck, or do you want me to flip through?
You can flip through and pick. Yeah, I'll try to keep with some of the things we discussed on on the deck, as well as I'm going to. I'll kind of intro into it. I asked Michael. I said I want to kind of keep this around community stuff, because as you all know, it's August. August is kind of a slow month. It probably marks one of the slower months, with December and January. And September brings on a transition month, which historically can also be slowish if you're not prepared. People always blame September on, well, kids are going back to school, people are busy, it's a transition month. However, if you lead into that month with plenty of activities going on at your location, September can be one of the busiest months. And certainly getting into the community is something that I've really, really been noticing and taking notes toward, into like things like Starbucks, Lululemon, looking at a lot of these clinics. Excellent, Michael. So this is the key. I think everybody knows this slide. Michael, doing what Michael does best, he put this in a learning method with his inside, beside, around, beyond. Beautiful. I don't know if EBOB is the best, what do you call that, the algorithm, or not algorithm, I don't know, Michael, what do you call that? First letter?
Acronym.
I don't know if an EBAB is the best acronym, but it's certainly, or IBAB, you can start with that. So to kind of intro this, I'll put it into a perspective of hunting versus farming. People have heard about this, they've heard me speak of it, and every business has an element of hunting and farming. And ironically, I've been doing some, as I've mentioned in the quarterly meeting, I have, I'd say it's going to be the second of many meetings, or the last meeting with Walmart tomorrow. So either I'm going to take this to the next level, or it won't work. We'll see. But between that, meeting groups and groups of big clinics out there, did 2 meetings yesterday, what's becoming our brand is the farming. That we really know how to farm patients well. Ironically, well or better than the rest may be the better way to put it, because I mean, you can ask yourselves, how well are you farming or building deep around the patients in your business, in your clinic, and is that becoming just a referral reward? Is it good? Is it actually because you're doing surveys? Is it because you've trained your staff well? Is it because results are being attained? What is it that brings people to bring other people? Or is it because you're actually preaching that I, at Physiomed, want to make a difference in the community? One of the reasons why we look to protect franchises with area boundaries has nothing to do with marketing, because people can go wherever they want to go. Clearly, that's even more evident in a Tim Hortons or Canadian Tire situation. I don't believe that people go to the Tim Hortons that's near where they live. They go to any Tim Hortons. And the same with Canadian Tire and many other franchises. However, I think the key is really getting from the inside hunting to the inter and local, which is community, and the regional, which Michael and I, just so you know, we're bumping up and really looking towards patient referrals coming from our radio advertising. I think we're going to talk, or I want to talk more about that in September when that hits. But we're really putting together some exciting stuff around how we're going to build out our radio campaigns around not just the messaging. I don't know if everybody heard, I've given a testimonial on 680. It played this morning. I already received 2 emails from 2 different CEOs from 2 different companies that are in healthcare commending on the testimonial that was read this morning at 6:50. So Michael can certainly look at that and try to get times. As again, it shows that we're almost partners with Rogers. Good affiliations. So these are things that, you know, go into the regional area, but it's the interlocal which get into the hunting in the community. But that hunting really comes from the inside intra-farming. If you know how to farm inside and you can get the culture of not just your staff, but your patients to understand what you're trying to do to the community, the interlocal stuff becomes very easy, the beside around. So inside, beside, around are actually dependent or interdependent on each other, is probably better, based on what you talk about inside your clinic to reach out to the beside and around. So, you know, inside the clinic is really working on that farming. Now, to give an example of how we as Physiomed are perceived in the community, well, let's start with how many franchise health clinics are there that can you name in Ontario, in Canada? Probably not more than 5 to 10, if that. So right there becomes a unique marketing play. How many of you know the structure and brand build-out of the other large rehab chains in Canada? The LifeMarks, the PT Health, the ICC Health Nets, the AIMS, the Centrics. Those are the big ones on CBI. They don't necessarily put themselves around a consumer client brand. Their brand is often very corporate, and they go after corporate contracts like preferred provider networks with MVAs, maybe trying to get in WSIB. However, there is a huge cost to that. So I'm going to coin this phrase. I'm going to call it the costly first branch. And in both my meetings yesterday, both involving clinics that are doing, like one group of clinic that does well over $10 million, and this is another guy who has 4 clinics that do well over $6 million. All their marketing are costly first branches.